when we speak about transition to green economy. So there are challenges for them, for private sector specifically, but we felt confidence from private sector that they are ready to jump in. Similarly with civil society, similarly with all the rest. So it was not an easy process, but I'm happy to say that now we are here looking back that it was truly historic COP.
So talking about the private sector, how do you bridge the gap between the private sector coalitions and the national climate plans when we talk about the role of climate champions?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a good question. Actually, with private sector, I had a privilege to be in a very good contact for many months before COP and during COP. And at COP29, we had a great event in the Blue Zone. So for the first time, we had the Business Investment and Philanthropy Forum, which was happening in a Blue Zone at COP29. We had a chance to invite everyone. All the more than 1,000 company leaders were participating there. The first time was happening at COP28 when our colleagues have tried to bring together business sector at COP29 Business Investment Forum. So we have done our best to have it fully in the Blue Zone. And it was a great success. It was a great success, I must say. But throughout all these months, as I said, what we felt from private sector, we felt that they are ready to jump in. They are ready to support their governments. They are ready to make this green transition, to unlock the opportunities coming from green transition. But of course, they have questions. They need to be incentivized. And this is what we've been hearing from all of them. But they say that, okay, government incentives, legislation should be in place, and all those incentive formats should be there for them to jump in. And also in many countries of the world, private sector people, businessmen were saying that we want to have better dialogue with our government. We want to participate in NDC process. We want to push our government, and we are ready to support, but we want some clarity. And that's what it's all about. And what I also would like to say that it's great to see more private sector people at COPs from year to year. Because if you look at COP like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, you wouldn't see so many business people there, so many companies there. But now they are coming with solutions, they are coming with technologies, they are coming with finance, and that's a great thing. And this is exactly what we need to kind of support and to promote.
The door to partnerships between government and private sector?
Yes, absolutely. This is what private sector wants. They want to have a better dialogue. They want to have a better partnership with the governments, because each region is different. Obviously, each region comes with its own challenges and opportunities. So whenever there is, this good partnership, it will be more easier to make green transition.
Don't want to always focus on challenges. Let's talk about some of the positive initiatives. Impact Makers and SME Initiative, they aim to empower grassroots actors. Tell us how these programs accelerate climate action.
Thank you, dear Ms. Maya. First of all, I would like to say that as COP29 presidency, we had 14 initiatives that we have announced. As I said, like COP29 Global Energy Storage and Grids Pledge, which brought together 60 countries signed it. We had COP29 Declaration on Green Digital Action, which 75 governments and more than 1,000 members of tech community signed. We had COP Truth Appeal, which brought together many countries. And we had many other important initiatives of COP29 presidency. As high-level champion, my main role was to engage with non-state actors, and with the team, we have initiated these two campaigns: Impact Makers and Support Climate Proofing SME campaign. As I said, I had the privilege of working with private sector for many months, and what I felt, small and medium businesses are lagging behind. This is the main challenge for them, because when you speak about large corporations, they have access to finance, they have technologies, they have money, right? So they have understanding of green transition, but small and medium enterprises are lagging behind. And this is the real economy. This is the 80% of jobs on the market. So we wanted to support small and medium enterprises. We wanted to help them in capacity building, in access to finance, and giving them, this green light so that large companies can see consider them in their value chains, in their supply chains. I'm sorry. So that's why we launched this SME climate proofing SME campaign, which brought together 40 collaborators from different parts of the world, and now and they are reaching to 90 million SMEs in over 100 countries. So that's one campaign. Another one is Impact Makers that I'm really proud about. Impact Makers is about people. It's about human factor, because we are always speaking about challenges. As you said, we are always about, this, we feel like we are doomed, that everything is really extremely bad, but there are such an optimistic part about it. There are so many people that come with startup ideas, that come with solutions, and they inspire people around them. They make projects that impact their community. So we were trying to showcase those stories, and at COP29 we brought them together to showcase their stories, and that was the open public call, and we will continue this year as well. So it was great to see enthusiasm from all the non-state actors. And also, as you know, as high-level champion, I was working with Razan Al-Mubarak to proceed and to bring, all those existing campaigns, like Race to Zero, for example. Race to Zero is the world's largest campaign with over 15,000 real economy leaders working to halve emissions by 2030. We have Race to Resilience campaign, climate solutions, 2030 climate solutions, all the existing campaigns run by high-level champions, including my dear Mahmoud Mohildin, who didn't have a chance to join today. So as the climate champions, we are working as one team. We are very much aligned, and we would like to mobilize the whole society to work together.
Dr. Mahmoud was very keen on talking about the debt in the global south, but we're not going to go there. I just want to say something, because we are in a room full of climate advocates. If you have any question for Her Excellency, write it for me on a paper, and we'll see if we can get it through in the middle of the conversation. Meanwhile, we'll move forward, Ms. Nigar, and ask about mobilization and finance. What are the strategies that are most effective in mobilizing finance for regions like MENA? And of course, climate advocacy.
Well, I think that's exactly what our dear colleague, Dr. Mahmoud, could have answered more, being the finance person. But if you ask my personal opinion, why this whole subject is relevant to MENA region, because, for example, I'm looking at Caspian Sea now from my window. I live by the Caspian Sea, and what I see is that the level of the Caspian Sea is going down, dramatically. And this is happening in front of our eyes. And I know that in MENA region, you also suffer from the climate change crisis, like you have water scarcity, you have many other issues that are happening. So that's what makes us all in one boat, what I say. So we all face the same challenges. We all have the same, challenges in this case. But if you ask my personal opinion about mechanisms of this finance being distributed, so it's great to see that we have COP29 was successful in a sense that we had that Baku finance goal. It was this historic decision, because the core finance goal previously was 100 billion USD. Now it's 300 billion USD. So that's the best result that we had so far as the global community. But how this money finances goes to the vulnerable communities, this is the mechanism that needs to be built. And if you ask me, I think that financial mechanisms needs very good reforms, because so far I don't see how it will be reaching really vulnerable communities, developing countries, the countries that are needing it, and how, for example, those SMEs in developing world, in poor countries, will be getting the finance. How these projects will be applicable for the finance. So all these mechanisms should be set in place. And I'm really hopeful that we will continue together with our colleagues to Belém, with Brazilian presidency, working in this direction. And because it's not up to COP presidencies, it's about MDBs coming together, it's about banks coming together, it's about private sector being on board, because we want private sector to come with finance, also with technologies, with solutions, and with support. So that's the whole ecosystem that should be in place. So if you ask my personal opinion, I think that this ecosystem is not fully in place so far, but I am optimistic.
It's nice that you bring that up because talking about this mechanism also we need to ask certain questions. When we talk about vulnerable communities and supporting and helping these vulnerable communities, mostly the money is coming from the countries and the communities that can afford it. Whereas in vulnerable communities, there's an issue, a huge issue with governance. How is that controlled? Is COP any of the COPs, is COP in any way able to monitor, to help, to support with a mechanism?
There should be a mechanism in place. So far, as I said, I don't see how it's done because there are two sides to it, like developing world and developed countries. Like developed countries are coming with with questions about transparency and governance. Developing countries are coming with their problems, with their let's say existing challenges that they are facing. So there are two sides to it. And I think that sometimes what we see is that there is no solidarity in this whole conversation. Again, I was not part of formal negotiations, so I cannot comment on the governments. I'm sharing my personal opinion, being the high-level champion throughout all this months. So I think that there should be a proper mechanism of the flow of finance to vulnerable communities, which is at the moment lacking, but I believe that this is the next step that should be done. But what I also seen is that it cannot be done only by governments. It should be done by banks, by private sector, by civil society, by all the rest of this whole of society approach. So I think that there should be a mechanism which is now still under preparation.
So I thought we still had time, but time is up. So I'll just very, very quickly, the road to COP 30, what do we expect? And if you can just summarize it for us.
Yes, we are very optimistic. We will be happy to support our Brazilian colleagues. This is not an easy process because you are bringing the whole global world together to come, to unite, and to agree to make decisions that will be impacting the whole world, all the countries of the world. So it's not an easy process. We will be here to support our Brazilian colleagues. And I would like to take this chance to thank you for having this conversation, for being with us throughout this months of work to COP29 and to having this conversation today. And I'm looking forward for future collaboration.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you, dear guests. I hope you enjoyed this fireside chat. Thank you.